Hey, you guys want to know a secret? Can I tell you a secret? We're here at Optima Batteries. We've got some Optima batteries right behind me. You may have known about that product, but Optima just released something really cool, and it was such a big secret that we had to promise not to tell you guys about it until right now. So we're gonna go up in that booth, we're gonna talk secrets with a guy named Jim, and we're gonna get into a bunch of stuff that Optima does that you probably didn't even know, and it's in stuff that you've already got, and they are just such a big deal. So keep watching. We're gonna take you through all those things that I'll bet you didn't know. Coming up right now.
Hey everybody, coming to you live from the Optima booth, SEMA Day 2. We got Jim from Optima Batteries with us. Jim, how are you today, my friend?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for letting us take up a little bit of space today with you. We're outside of the exhibit, but they also have a little action going around the track. Jim, what are you calling this feature here?
It's the Fun Haver track party, and we have Adam LZ, Chelsea Denofa, and the head Fun Haver, Vaughn Gittin, in their Ford Mustang drift cars, and they're putting on exhibitions pretty much the whole week. And special guest is Lauren Healy, who's also a Fun Haver, but he focuses on the four-wheel drive side in Ultra 4, and Vaughn Gittin Jr. brought Brocky his Ultra 4 out, and Vaughn's been having fun driving that all week.
That's awesome, man. I tell you what, I might get in one of those, but I had a little bit too much to eat last night. I may lose something. But look, we are here really for one thing and one thing only, and that is for you to tell us about what you guys are showcasing here this week. You had a big release earlier in the week. So tell our fans, our audience, a little bit about what you guys did this week.
Well, it's a lot of new products for us, more than we've ever had since I've been working at Optima, because we're gonna we actually revealed, and we're gonna bring out in the spring of 2023 a power sports battery line that features 6 different battery sizes that'll cover about 95% of all power sports fitments. So not just motorcycles and ATVs and wave runners and jet skis, but lawnmower batteries, because people ask about that, snowmobiles and a lot of those.
Can we look at these? You've got some
Yeah,
sitting
absolutely.
over here, right? Let's go.
Okay.
Why don't you go take it around?
Yeah. Well,
You want me to go there?
All right, so let's go ahead and start with this. What do you got?
Okay. So the Quad 30 is the biggest, and we're not going to recommend any of these for automotive applications.
Obviously.
But this is the one that people are going to probably try to use in automotive applications.
Okay.
And the key questions people have is pulse hot cranking amps, which is a specific measurement for the power sports market. And this is 800 pulse hot cranking amps, and it weighs just over 7 pounds. And then as we make our way around here to the 20, the Quad 16, the Quad 14, the 12, and the 7, they get progressively smaller, and they fit a variety of applications. But you'll notice we have terminals on all corners of the battery to help facilitate easier mounting in a variety of applications and cover a lot more fitments. And then we also have this dongle that comes off the batteries, because when you're looking at a lithium-based product, it's okay if it's in an OE application and it's an OE lithium battery, and all the parameters are controlled by the OE in terms of how the battery is charged, how the battery is discharged. The challenge for the aftermarket that, quite frankly, a lot of lithium companies missed out on because they were trying to get to the market so quickly, is controlling the charge that goes into the battery and controlling the current that comes out. And so what we've done with this, we have 5 different patents pending on the technology involved in this. It's not just another, I'm going to offer a lithium battery and slap my label on it.
Right.
Our research and development team went in here and said, what can we do to try to make this the best possible product for the market? So we have a CPR system that if there's a drain on the battery, the application is discharging the battery. Once it gets to a certain point, internally the battery's going to shut off. That'll leave enough power if somebody parked their motorcycle, left their light on,
Right.
that they can get the motorcycle started one more time. And then we also have a BMS, battery management system in it, to control the amount of current that comes into the battery and not allow overcharging in the battery. And then this dongle can come off the battery, because a lot of these are buried underneath a seat in a motorcycle or in UTVs, and it's hard to see what the state of charge is of the battery and how to connect it to a charger, and this dongle is going to help with that quite a bit. So.
Right, and now less volatility, right?
Yeah, so would you ask Jim for me, what does orange mean to them?
Oh yeah, there you go. What does orange mean to you, Jim?
So we actually, this is not the first time Optima has had an OrangeTop battery.
Right.
Back in the day, man, it's got to be 20 years ago or more. We had OrangeTop batteries that were reverse termination batteries. So we had a battery of 34R, and the R designation signifies reverse termination, so the positive and the negative posts were switched.
Right.
And to highlight that, we made the battery top orange. Well, that was a lot of orange poly for one size of battery, so we eventually made that the Redtop, our 34R battery. It has a red top on it, but that was the original OrangeTop, but the lithium line of batteries that we've released this week are all going to be OrangeTop batteries, and that'll differentiate it from our Redtop, YellowTop, and Bluetop batteries.
Okay, gotcha. Very good.
While you guys are standing up, you want to
walk?
Yeah.
So tell us about the vehicles that you guys brought in this week. You said you got a whole line here of different animals here. The one that stood out to me the most is this hydrogen internal combustion engine, which is very interesting to me. I know that efficiency is a key to one of these things. What is this all about?
So, as part of Optima's Unleashed presence here at SEMA, we brought in more than 100 vehicles, which is quite a few. Obviously, the fun havers here, but almost 100 of the vehicles that we brought are competing in our Optima Ultimate Streetcar Invitational presented by Advanced Auto Parts. And it's basically for street legal production cars and trucks. It doesn't matter what year it was produced, it doesn't matter if it's a car or a truck, all-wheel drive, two-wheel drive, front or rear. We kind of, it's amazing sometimes that we can get them all in there, but we have vehicles from 9 different decades that are competing this week.
That's amazing.
And 5 different fuel sources. We've got unleaded gasoline, E85, ethanol, diesel, and this truck is a 48 Chevy. It's powered by hydrogen. Now, Mike Copeland has been a long-time competitor in this series and brought a variety of vehicles. I think folks remember the Dodge Rampage that he brought out that had the V8 engine mounted in the bed. Arrington Performance is his company, and this, quite frankly, is the guy that you want to have experimenting and developing alternative fuel opportunities in the country. You don't want politicians kind of leading this charge and holding.
Right.
You want a hot rodder, a guy who wants to figure out how to make things cooler and go faster, and that's exactly what Mike Copeland's doing.
And as Keith and I always say, we said this to everyone on our podcast, the performance industry is what really leads out into everyday usage, and that is actually the best way you could put that. Now, supercharging, does this make this, do you know if it's zero emissions or?
It's zero emissions.
It is zero emissions, okay.
And it's about 500 horsepower.
Because I know you have to have it supercharged in order to have that happen. This is an amazing lineup, man, no doubt about it. Tell us about this one right over here.
What, the big one?
Yes.
We can come over and look at it. It's quite a vehicle, and there's it's called the Beast of Turin, and it is kind of a salute to the 1910 Fiat. So it's just eye candy, and that's one of the things that's great about the SEMA show. And there's so much detail to this car in every facet. You can spend 45 minutes walking around here and not see everything there is to it, but it's pretty impressive. A guy named Gary Wales brought it out, and his special lady friend has been posing in it all week. I don't know where she's at, but she'll be here soon, hopping behind the wheel. But it's impressive.
That is very impressive. Such a beautiful piece of machinery, no doubt about it. So speaking of being able to purchase your product, are you in every automotive aftermarket supplier like Advanced Auto Parts, O'Reilly? Is that where people can buy your product?
Not everywhere, but we're at pretty much the major ones. You can buy it obviously at OptimaBatteries.com, and we offer free shipping every day of the week, and we'll send it right to your house. But nationwide, Advanced Auto Parts, AutoZone, Pep Boys, O'Reilly's, 4-Wheel Parts, Jegs, Summit. So quite a few of the major retail outlets.
Okay. Keith.
And actually, if
I haven't seen them at the retail level in the stores.
Which ones?
O'Reilly, where I live, they don't have them in there.
It depends on the location
Okay.
and the volume that they do.
Right.
You know, we have more than 2 dozen SKUs, and obviously we'd love to have every retailer carry every battery we have, but a lot of them just don't sell 6-volt batteries anymore.
Right.
And a lot of them aren't near water, so they're not going to have any of our Bluetop marine batteries there.
Right.
So if they don't have it in stock, Interstate Batteries also sells Optima batteries at all their locations. If they don't have it, they can get it for you.
All right.
If we jump back on the table, Mike, so we can wrap it.
Sure.
Okay.
I've got a lingering question for Jim. And,
We need to ask them about the Rivians as well.
yeah, that was where I was headed with this.
Yep.
So, let me get back on mic real quick.
Let me get my dust off me here.
My rubber dust.
So let me brush the rubber shavings off.
So, Jim, you guys moved the Rivians to what location here? At
I think
SEMA?
they're in front of Central Hall.
Central Hall. Okay,
Yep.
we want to get back over there and take a look at those.
you got an R1S and an R1T.
Yep.
And what's really interesting about, well, a couple things you were telling us yesterday. You've got trailers that I'm guessing were built, but I want you to correct me on that. And then you guys are using these things in overland situations, right?
Yeah, so we partner on a lot of projects with Weiss Tech Engineering out of Southern California, and Mike Weiss and his team have been really active with us, especially in our off-roading stuff. Even though Mike's known for his Mercedes-Benz tuning, he's got a long streak in him that really enjoys the outdoors and getting out to the King of the Hammers with us in Johnson Valley and going down to Baja, Mexico for the 500 and the 1000 and so we have actually Arnold Schwarzenegger's old Unimog.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
And he was able to pick that up a couple of years ago, and we've had that out at a lot of these events, Trail Hero and King of the Hammers, and
Yep.
and we're going to do the same thing with these Rivians.
And how long are you can take them out? I mean, I don't know what kind of battery power is in those trailers, but you're able to charge those things up multiple times, I would guess,
Yeah.
in an outing.
Yeah, so that's the idea, and people can be nervous or scared or afraid of EVs and what you can do with them and what you can't, but again, you don't want politicians leading the charge on this.
Yeah.
You want the automotive aftermarket guys who love off-roading and doing cool stuff with cars and trucks to figure out how you can use an EV in an overlanding situation. And so,
Right.
it's kind of uncharted territory. But they've got these trailers built. They have solar panels on top of them, and not just to charge the trucks themselves, but they've got electric bikes on the back of it and
Saw that, yeah.
camping equipment and lights and all kinds of stuff.
And it should be mentioned that you guys at Optima were willing to take that risk, spend some R&D dollars to do something like that, to push that envelope of, like you said, you don't want the politicians doing it, right? So you guys stepped in and said, all right, let's see what we can do here. And I personally am grateful for that. I'm sure a lot of people are, because that's sometimes a tough sell to a corporate, room.
And it's tough for people to make that connection because they're like, well, these are EVs. They run on electricity. What do they care about 12-volt batteries?
Right.
And every Tesla on the road today has a 12-volt battery in it.
Yeah.
So it's not like there's this total disconnect between the 12-volt market and what's going on with electric vehicles.
Yep, for sure.
Right.
All right, I think Jim's got to go for sure, because have you done this yet?
I don't fit in those cars.
Well, you are the official MC of the whole place here today, and
By
and this
default,
week,
nobody
so-
else wanted to grab the microphone.
right.
The microphones are right there. If anybody else wanted to do it, they could just
Right.
pick up a microphone and flip the switch.
Well, we can't thank you enough for taking the time to spend with us today and our fans and our audience. We really appreciate it. Have fun. Have fun. That's all we can do, right?
I will. Thanks for coming by, guys. I appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Jim.
Appreciate it.